what we've got that I think is interesting here is that actually before the war, you saw Russia, Putin nurturing the relationship with Israel and trying to create that alliance. What he's effectively doing is throwing that relationship under the bus, throwing Israel under the bus and showing support for Palestinians, but also their sympathy with the wider Arab world. So we've got to think how that fits in with his wider strategy. If he can get more support from the Arab world for his mission to create a new world order, ultimately, that's going to work in his favour. So he is working the current crisis to fit into that, I think.
Right. Well, and when you think about the way that Putin interacts with, and the Russians interact with Iran as well, and the fact that, you know, a Saudi-Israel pact or a normalization agreement threatens Iranian influence in the region and therefore also strengthens the hand of America and the West in the region, it does all fit together. Max, let's talk a little bit about, there's a new interview out this morning that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu did with ABC, in which he talks about the future for Gaza, which, I mean, you and I have talked extensively here about what happens, who governs Gaza if the Israelis do succeed in their mission to rout Hamas. Here's what Bibi, to use the nickname for the Israeli Prime Minister, had to say about this. Take a look.
I think Israel will, for an indefinite period, will have the overall security responsibility because we've seen what happens when we don't have it.
So he's saying the Israelis are going to have to take control of the Gaza Strip after this.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, how do you interpret that? So they'll have security responsibility and it'll be indefinite. What isn't clear about who will have governance over Gaza, because a lot of people are saying, does what Bibi said in that interview mean that he's looking to occupy Gaza after the war? I don't think we can look at it that simply, because to occupy it would also be responsible for all the governance, would possibly suggest boots on the ground as well. I'm not sure everything we've heard from him recently, that's what he wants. So perhaps some sort of international peacekeeping force operating in Gaza, governing Gaza, whilst Israel oversees security. It's very unclear what he meant there, but I think it will be interpreted by many as looking ahead to an occupation. But I don't think we can see it as black and white as that.